This is Healing Honey, and today we'll be talking about being still among the chaos, knowing how to have peace even though it may be chaos around you. So when it comes peace and being still with the chaos, I think about meditation, sitting still. Sometimes we can have noise from the outside, or we can have noise on the inside. I mean your thoughts, I mean the repetitive thoughts, I mean the negative thinking within your mind. All these things can be chaos within yourself. We also know about chaos on the outside, chaos in the world, chaos within this reality. We have to realize that either it's two ways to go. Either you find peace on the inside, and because you find peace on the inside, it reflects within your reality and you have peace on the outside. Or it's chaos on the outside, but you have no control over it. Because we have to realize, even though we're living within this world, doesn't mean that we have to strive to the chaos within the world. So just because all these things may be happening within the world, it doesn't mean that it can have power over you. It doesn't mean that you should react off of what's happening within the world. It's easy for us to react about what is happening within the world. It's easy for us to feel like we're being targeted, or feel like we're being suppressed within the world, and it can affect us all the time if we allow it. If we allow what's happening within the world to affect us in any type of way, it can cause chaos within our lives. So within meditation comes peace. And I feel that we already have peace within us, but sometimes we forget that we have that peace because we're so distracted on what's going on within our lives or within the world in general. So that being said, I feel that within life, we have to realize that within stillness comes all the answers. Within staying still, sitting still, comes all the answers. Sometimes as humans, we have not allowed ourselves to be still and listen. Who are you listening to? You're listening to yourself. When we meditate and we go into stillness, we're not trying to, what's the word? We're not trying to get something that we're not trying to get something that we already don't have within ourselves. All the answers, all the information, all the knowledge we already have within ourselves. So we have to realize that when we sit in stillness, in meditation, we're quieting our mind. So the whole point of meditation is for us to know what's our thoughts and what's not our thoughts. We've been taught that every thought that we hear, because we hear thoughts when you think of something, you hear the thought in your mind, don't you? So that being said, whenever we're having thoughts or hearing thoughts, we have to realize that we've been programmed over the years to have repeated thoughts, negative thoughts that's not even ours. They can be thoughts that we think that's ours, but because we've been around this one person all our lives, and say this person's been telling you the same thing your whole life, you're going to start thinking that that's your thought. You're going to start thinking that this is me thinking this, but in reality it's somebody else thought in general. So that being said, we have to realize that when we sit still, that's when we tune in within ourselves. That's when we listen to ourselves. The thing is, we're so distracted by the outside world, we don't know what's going on the inside. We don't know how we feel. We don't know nothing about ourselves because we're on steady go. We're always moving. We're always doing something new. We're always working. We're always doing something. So that being said, we never truly have time for ourselves. We never truly have time for us to just sit and listen. How do you feel? How do your body feel? Are you scared to sit by yourself? Do you fear being still? Do you fear knowing what's really in your mind? We have to realize that if we don't know what's going on the inside of us, how can we affect the outside? How can we have an influence on the outside? If we're constantly being ran by outside influences, whether it's your own mind or the world in general, we have no control of our mind. We have no control of what's going on the inside. And we have to realize, just because we're sitting in stillness doesn't mean that it's going to be quiet. We have to realize that our mind is constantly thinking. It's constant thoughts that's happening within our mind. And some of the thoughts are repeated thoughts. I'm pretty sure if you had one thought today, you probably had that same thought yesterday. Whether it was a positive thought or a negative thought. What we don't realize also is all your mind is doing is remembering the past thoughts. So if you've been telling yourself something over and over and over again, your mind is used to it. It's working out of pattern. All your mind knows is what it remembers. So we sit in stillness. We may hear noise because that's all we're used to. We may have all these thoughts coming in, but we have to realize that when we're in meditation, it's not about quieting your mind. Yes, that may be the end goal, but the real goal is for you to observe what's happening within your mind, for you to be aware. It's not for you to judge yourself. It's not for you to feel bad about the thoughts that you're having, but be aware. Because if you're not aware of what's happening within your mind has power over you and control over you. I believe I heard from a Buddha quote about how humans have monkey minds. What do I mean? Our minds is on constant go. We never truly have control over our minds because we're always thinking and we're always on go. So that being said, if you was today to sit in silence or stillness, I'm pretty sure that you would have multiple thoughts coming to your mind at one time. So many thoughts that you was probably not even aware of, because we're always moving, we're always on go. So these thoughts that you've been having within your mind constantly, you think it's normal. You think it's nothing wrong with it because you've been having these thoughts for a long time. But we have to realize that the answers is in stillness. But for us to get there, we have to move past all the noise. We have to move past all the chaos. If I want peace within my reality, I have to have peace within. We want all the peace on the outside. We say we want a peaceful life, but you don't have peace within your mind. How do you expect to have a peaceful life, but you don't have peace within your mind? You are the creator of your peace. Your peace is not something that comes from the outside of you. Your peace is something that comes from the inside of you. But you have to realize that your peace starts with you first. And if your mind is right, then your peace will be right. If your mind is right, then peace will come. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that you can snap your fingers and say, oh, I'm in control of my mind. It is something that you have to consistently work at to better yourself, to know that what you truly are is the observer. You're observing your mind. That being said, when I said that we can hear our thoughts, say right now, say in your head, I am amazing. Did you hear that thought? Doesn't that mean that you're observing that thought? That being said, we have the power to hear thoughts in our mind. And once that thought is out in the universe, your thoughts are energy. So if we're aware that our thoughts are energy, anytime that we have a negative thought, we're sending out energy into the field. It is a fast field of energy. And we have to realize that each time that we have a thought, we're projecting the energy out. And regardless if you feel that you feel one way but you're thinking something totally different, what we have to realize is the power of our thoughts is powerful, but also how we feel is powerful and important. So if I'm having peaceful thoughts, eventually my life will become peaceful, because we have to realize the thought happens and then the feeling happens. So that being said, if I'm sitting in meditation and all these thoughts are coming to me, maybe they're trying to tell me something. Maybe they're distractions. Maybe they're old programming. Maybe they're negative thoughts. But you have to move past that. When you sit in meditation, it's not just about you sitting there just to sit there. It's about you paying attention to yourself and you being aware of yourself. We can't say that we have control of our reality if we're not in control of our mind. That's not how life works. And y'all see all this noise around me, right? I could have ended the video or cut this part of the video out if I wanted to, but I'm going to continue to record the video. We have to realize that it's a lot of distractions in the world, but it's up to us if we're going to give our attention to it. What are you paying attention to? What are you giving your energy to? And if you're giving your attention and your energy to something, is it serving you in any type of way? Is it doing something for you in any type of way? We have to realize that time we can't get back. Our energy we can't get back. Yes, you can say, I call back my power, I call back my energy. But in reality, when you go and you do something, whether you're volunteering, whether you're working, whatever it is, and whether you're in school, you're giving your time and your energy. You can't get that back. So we spend so much time doing other things that doesn't improve us. How about we start doing something to improve us? How about we start taking the time out to sit with ourselves and meditate and be in stillness? In stillness is where you will find your power. In stillness is where you will hear yourself. In stillness is where all the answers is. If you can't sit with yourself for 5 minutes a day, can you truly say that you know yourself? And it doesn't have to be every day, but at least 3 times a week to start off with. At least 3 times a week, 5 minutes a day. We have to realize that we never really have true peace without stillness. Don't they say the storm had to come first, then the sunshine? But when a storm come, all the chaos come. But sometimes before the chaos come, it's still. It storms and then the sun come out. So that being said, we have to realize that we can have chaos within our reality, but us sitting still could give us all the things that we need to do to move from that chaos, to overcome that chaos. We can't control what's going on in the world. We have no control over what's going on in the world. The only control that we truly have is the control we have within our reality, within our mind. If you're saying that you want something different, but you're not trying to hear yourself, you're not trying to understand yourself, you're not trying to get to know yourself, how can you say that you know yourself? How can you say that you're the creator of your reality if you're not starting with one of the first things that you can start with to start molding your reality, to start shifting your reality? How can you say that you're in tune with yourself if you don't even know how you sound internally? We want to have guidance and get advice from all these different things, whether it's a entity, whether it's a person, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family, but we can't even hear our own self talk when we talk. And I'm talking about internally. I'm talking about your intuition. We have to realize within silence, or should I say stillness, within stillness is where you find you. Whether it's you going into the closet, whether it's you in the shower, whether it's you walking on a trail, being in your essence without any distractions, without any phone, without any music, but just you being with you. We want to have friendships, we want to have relationships, but we can't even be still and be one with ourselves for us to attract that or bring that in. How can you say that you want a relationship but you don't know yourself, but you don't want to sit with yourself? So many people are afraid to be alone, or afraid to be by themselves. But if they truly knew themselves, if they truly knew who they were, they would know that they're never alone. You're never alone. But we have to realize that it's okay to sit with yourself. And if you cannot sit with yourself, that's telling you something about yourself. It's something that you're trying to avoid. It's something that you do not want to face. And we have to realize that meditation is just the first page of a beautiful book that you can write if you allow yourself to write that book. Self-discovery. We want to learn all we can learn about other people, but we don't know who we are. Whether it's you learning from this one book and knowing, oh, this person did this person did this, but what can you do? This person was powerful, this person did this person did that, but can you do it? Can you do the same thing that person did? Can you shift mountains like that person shift mountains? It all starts with your mind. It all starts with how you feel you can change your life. And we can have all the tools in the world. All the tools. But the number one tool that we can have and that we do have is ourselves. You are your best tool. You are your best tool, but we have to realize that. We have to be okay without having distractions around us 24/7. Whether it's music, whether it's TV, whether it's entertainment in general. Because what are you being entertained by? I watch TV, I listen to music, I go out every now and then, but I also know that it's about knowing what you're paying attention to, knowing what you're giving your energy to. If you feel that your energy is valuable, if you feel that your energy and your presence is valuable, you wouldn't give your attention to every and anything. You would know that your attention and your essence is important and it's worth millions if you feel that. But we have to realize that what we give our energy to, either it's going to pour into us in some type of way or better us in some type of way, or it's just another distraction. That's all it is another distraction. I had to realize that if I don't want to sit with myself and be with myself, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever, it's something that I don't want to see within myself. It's something that I don't want to face within myself. And like I said, everybody's meditation is different. It could be you going on a walk in the park without your phone. Have your phone in your pocket. It could be you in a shower, just enjoying yourself, sitting still, enjoying yourself, letting the water hit you, being present. The thing is, with meditation, it's about being present in the present moment. Of course, you're going to have all these thoughts. Of course, they're going to come in, but it's not about you judging them. It's about you being aware. And you saying, okay, I'm sitting in this stillness. What can I learn from this? What is this stillness trying to teach me? Because if I say within stillness come all the answers, eventually you're going to start hearing yourself talk. And I'm not talking about the negative thoughts, and I'm not talking about the repeated thoughts. I'm not talking about the thoughts that come from your ego. I'm talking about your spirit. I'm talking about your intuition. I'm talking about the person, the being, the essence that has all the information and all the knowledge that you need to know, and that's within you. So that being said, I started meditating, I think 2018. I started to meditate. It could have been 2019. It could have been 2019. I started to meditate. And what I realized is so much peace came with meditating. I wasn't getting mad as easy. I wasn't reacting as easy. Things didn't have so much control of me. And I start off by meditating 5 minutes a day. And through the years, I wasn't doing it as much, but I eventually had to start back to hear myself, to know how I'm feeling, to know how I feel internally in my body. So there are several tools out there to help you meditate. I think I downloaded an app called, I'm gonna have to put it in the description box because I cannot think of it right now. It could be, I can't think of it right now. I'm gonna put it in the description box. But I use this app, and this app walks you through. You download it on your phone, and it walks you through 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15-minute meditation. If you don't want the app, it's YouTube. YouTube is free. Go on YouTube and put on guided meditation, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Because if we have time for everything else and everyone else, we should have that same time for ourselves. We should have that same energy for ourselves. We're always giving to everybody else. But when is the last time you gave to yourself? What people don't realize is meditating is for you. It's for you to find that peace that's always been there, that you could not see through all the distractions, that you could not see through all the noise. And some of the noise and the distractions came from your own self, because your ego has a way of trying to distract you. Your ego have a way of trying to make you feel comfortable. Your ego has a way of trying to have you overthink. We have to realize that, of course, doing something new is unfamiliar, but we have to know that we're unfamiliar. But with doing something unfamiliar comes new heights and elevation and growth. And if we really want to evolve, if we really want to reach the highest versions of ourselves, that means that we have to do things that may seem uncomfortable. We're not doing it for anyone else but ourselves. I said before, look at me sweating. I said before, we are our biggest mission. If we're our biggest missions, wouldn't that mean that we deserve 5 or 10 minutes a day for us to sit with ourselves? Do you know how you sound? Do you know how you sound internally? Do you know how that little whisper in your heart or in your mind sound? Or have you never heard that voice before? Because all you keep doing is distracting yourself. You gotta ask yourself that question. You have to be real with yourself and say, dang, when was the last time I sat with myself? When was the last time I listened to my thoughts? When was the last time? So, that being said, before we go, I'm going to do a breathing exercise with y'all. We're going to do 3 deep breaths, just for you to get a little insight of how this may look. So we're going to take 1 deep breath in. We're going to take 1 deep breath in through your nose and out your mouth. Will you breathe in through your nose? We're breathing in positive energy. We're breathing in love. We're breathing in light. We're breathing in healing. When we breathe out, we're breathing out negativity, lack mentality, negative thinking. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Look, y'all, I had to move because my phone got overheated with the temperature because of how hot it is outside. So I hope y'all got something from this video, and I hope that y'all can be so in love with yourselves, because meditation is a part of self-love. You having the energy, the time to sit with yourself, to want to know the answers, to want to know yourself is so important. And all the things that we do, whether it's affirmations, whether it's mirror work, whether it's healing, whether it's ancestral work, whatever it is, it's all a form of self-love. Self-love is not something that is one day and you stop. It's something that you continue to do continuously. And when you sit with yourself and you sit in stillness, that's a form of self-love. Finding the peace within you, not needing something outside of yourself to make you feel peaceful, to make you feel good, to know that it's power within yourself for you to feel at peace, for you to feel good. If you want peace on the outside, you have to have peace on the inside. You have to have peace on the inside. You cannot expect your life to shift and to change if you don't have the peace on the inside, if you don't know yourself. We have to realize that just because it's things happening within the world, as long as it's not coming to your front door and knocking on your door, it shouldn't affect you. It should not affect you what's happening in the world. If you can't do nothing about it, why let it affect you? Why let it affect you if you cannot do anything about it? We have to realize we can only focus on what's happening within our reality. And that goes into also not letting outside people, whether it's family, friends, or the person that you're in a relationship with, not letting their outside chaos come within your world. You have to know that just because somebody else may be having chaos within their life, it does not give them the approval to bring that into your life. And that goes into boundaries. And we can say boundaries and peace go hand in hand, because if you don't have boundaries, you can't expect peace. And sometimes you need boundaries with your own self. A boundary like, today I'm not going to have a negative thought. I don't accept negative thinking. I only accept positive thinking within my mind. When I have thoughts, I'm only having positive thoughts. That's having boundaries with yourself. I only entertain positive thoughts. That can be an affirmation. I only entertain positive thoughts. I only entertain positive thoughts. People don't realize if someone else within your circle that you talk to is going through something chaotic and they come to you with it, they're now transferring their chaos into your life. So if somebody call you, I'm not saying you can't let people vent to you. I'm not saying you can't give advice. But that should not be your only role in their life. That should not be the only thing you can do for them in their life. If you allow that to happen, they have the power to bring chaos within your life. And you're looking around like, where did all this happen? Where did all this come from? How did this happen? It happened because you allowed it within your reality. Just because it's chaos in somebody else's reality doesn't mean that it's chaos within your reality. We may be living on the same planet, but it doesn't mean that we're in the same reality. Because my reality could look totally different from yours. My reality have wealth, abundance, love, prosperity, health, wisdom, healing. Your reality may have sorrow. It may have anger. It may have lack. It may have poverty. But that's not my reality. We have to realize within stillness come peace. You are the answer. You are the answer, the key. You are everything. But you have to realize that. You have to realize the power within stillness, the power within yourself. Do you know how you sound? Your true essence, not your ego. Because we hear our ego all day, every day. When we have them negative thoughts, yeah. When we have thoughts of the past, yeah. That's your ego. But it's only operating out of survival. It's only operating out of the past. It only knows cycles. It only knows patterns. So if you want new patterns within your life, if you want new cycles within your life, you have to start working with your mind. You have to start doing things differently within your mind. You have to start observing your mind and knowing what is happening within your mind. So many people walk around every day, all day, and just let their thoughts just roam. Just let their thoughts roam like it's normal. I did it before, but I had to realize that it's so much more power in knowing that I don't have to judge my thoughts. I don't have to feel bad for my thoughts. But when I have a negative thought, I observe it. And then I have a positive thought. Each time that you have a negative thought, how about you change it out with a positive thought? And it's not about you faking like you positive. It's not about you faking like you got your shit together. It's not about none of that. It's about you remolding yourself. You refining yourself. If I told you right now that I can break wood with my hand, would you believe me? If my mind believes that I can do it, and my essence believes that I can do it, then I can do it. The power of your mind. Somebody near and dear to me, my brother, was told that he wasn't going to walk anymore. But he's walking. But he's walking. Do you think the action of him practicing walking helped him? Or do you think his mind helped him? Or was it both? Because the mind has to change before it happens in reality. So what if he had the thought in his mind already that he was going to walk, that he was going to be able to walk, that he was going to be able to stand straight, that it wasn't going to hurt when he walked? What if that he had that in his mind already, and that's what caused him to have the actions to actually start walking? That's something to think about. That's something to think about. We have to know the power of our mind. Once we know the power of our mind, and that also goes into having discernment. When you be around people, pay attention to the thoughts you have. Do you have positive thoughts around them or negative thoughts around them? Who knows? They may not even be yours. What if you're hearing somebody else's thought? What if you're hearing somebody else's thought? You just had this negative thought. And you're like, I don't know where that came from because I was in a good mood. What if it's somebody else's thought? What we don't realize is we're all connected to this field of energy. And each time we think, our thought go out into the universe. That being said, we're all connected consciously. It is a pool of consciousness that we're connected by. I'm going to give you an example. Say you go to a certain neighborhood. In the neighborhood, you know, it's ran down, you know, you could tell it's a certain type of neighborhood that you don't want to be around all the time. And you end up stopping at the gas station. And when you stop at the gas station and get some gas, you have a negative thought that you know it's not yours because you don't think that way. Is that thought yours? Or is it somebody else? Maybe it's the person thought that was standing in front of the store. Maybe it's the homeless person thought that just asked you $5. We have to question these things. Do you question yourself? If you have a negative thought, do you say, oh, I'm used to it, it's nothing? Or are you gonna say, okay, I observed a negative thought. Where did that thought come from? Is that thought mine? How can I move past this thought? Did the thought come from something I experienced from the past? Is the thought one of my parent thoughts? Because, like I said before, we have to realize every thought that we hear or observe is not really our thought. Not every thought we have in our mind is our thought. For example, if one of your parents tell you something that you don't like, say you were 16 years old and your parent told you something you don't like, subconsciously, you may still be holding on to that thought. So when it's time for you to do something in life, that thought come back in your mind to make you think about what your parents said, but you're so used to that thought now, you think it's yours. You have a whole set of emotions and feelings behind that thought each time that thought come up. So now we gotta think. Who's having the thoughts? That's something to think about. So you have to be that aware. You have to be that aware of yourself to know that I'm just the observer. I'm being aware of what's happening within my temple. We talk about the temple. We talk about what we put in our body. What are you putting in your body? What are you putting into your being? You should always treat yourself like a garden. You should always treat yourself like a flower. Are you just going to let negative thoughts just run rampant in your mind? Or are you going to do something about it? When you complain, what is that? A negative thought. It's a negative thought coming from your mind into your reality. Each time you complain about something, we have to realize what we pay attention to grows. So if we're constantly having negative thoughts, if you're constantly complaining about things within our reality, we're manifesting more of that. We literally have channels within our brain. For example, say you was to have one positive thought. It's channels within your brain that's going to try to look for another positive thought to match that thought. If you have a negative thought, it's channels within your brain that's going to try to look for another negative thought to match that thought. So you have to know that when you're thinking, you're planting seeds. Now, what kind of garden do you want to have? Do you want to have a garden full of weeds? Or do you want to have a garden full of beautiful flowers? It's up to you to figure that out. It's up to you to recognize what's going on and what has been going on. So if you meet somebody and it just seems like they're just so negative, they're just so low vibration, they're just so we have to realize that they have been living internally in a cycle of negativity, and it's showing within their lives. So the next time you're around somebody, pay attention to the thoughts you have. Do you have positive thoughts around them? Or do you have negative thoughts around them? When you talk to somebody, do you feel like that conversation was a wealthy conversation? And I ain't talking about money, which y'all could have been talking about money. But I'm saying, did that conversation make you feel good? Or did it drain something out of you? Did it take something from you? And I'm not saying you should intentionally go to people that make you feel good 24/7, because we have to realize everything is energy. And if you're always going to this person to get refilled up, to get poured into, you're taking something from that person each time you do that. Regardless if that's their essence, regardless if that's just them, each time that you converse with someone, it's a transfer of energy. You have to realize, what is your part in that transference? Is it equal on both sides? Did you talk to this person and y'all both feel good? Or did you talk to that person and now you feel better and they're feeling drained? We have to realize these things. We got to be aware of these things. Is it equal on both sides, or are you just taking? Because that's draining. That's draining. Be aware of what part you play within your reality, within your friendships, within your own mind. Are you guarding your mind from all the negative thoughts? Are you paying attention? Or are you allowing yourself to be in mental jail? Are you allowing yourself to be in a cage? Your mind. Because if they got your mind, they got you. So, realize the power of your mind. Realize the power of stillness. Even you going outside, being in nature, you can find answers in nature if you pay attention. Because nature have cycles just like we do. The seasons. And if we're paying attention just how nature is with the different seasons, we should be within our lives. It's going to be periods where it's dark and it's cold. Ain't that winter time? A lot of people don't like coming outside in the winter time. I know I don't. I don't like going outside in the winter time. I don't like the cold like that. I'm anemic. So, that being said, it's going to be other times where the sun is out, the flowers is growing, and you're happy and you feel good. But it's all a part of life. It's all a part of the cycles within life. The seasons within life. And we all have our seasons. We all have our seasons. We just have to be aware of what's going on the inside of us. Is it chaos on the inside of you? Or is it peace? Only you can answer that question. Only you know the answer. Because if you're truly peaceful on the inside, it will show within your reality. So if you're wondering why it's so much chaos within your reality, baby, maybe it's time for you to sit with yourself and be still. Maybe it's time for you to sit and listen to yourself. You've been listening to everybody else. Now it's time that you listen to you, for you, with you. You should be your best friend. You should know yourself better than anybody else. If you're listening, if you're paying attention. I hope that y'all have an amazing day, an amazing week. Whenever y'all watch this video, I thank y'all and I love y'all. Until next time, Healing Honey.